So this is where we're at. They want to put me in jail now. The government has forced me against my will to run a homeless shelter for a year in my own property. And as if that's not bad enough, to allow people to steal $30,000 from me, force me to pay rent for two strangers, with money I need for food, and just to survive. As if that's not bad enough, they want me to pay hundreds of dollars for the privilege of this criminal theft that's being pushed on me totally in the dark, because the media intentionally hides this from you. And when I say the media, I legit mean the media. When people say the media, they're usually not being very accurate. They're usually talking about either corporate media or left-wing media, right-wing media, independent media. This is the media, right? Actively, they are suppressing this information. This is happening in the dark. This has been going on for months now. And up to now, no one in media wants to even talk about this. They won't even talk to me. AP News did a long interview with me on the phone, did nothing with it. The only way that even happened is because there were like other people involved, and I think they were looking at covering from a different angle or something. But once they talked to me and understood the craziness that was happening to me, all of a sudden they didn't have any interest in covering it. They just vanished. I'm a big fan of the Vanguard. I paid them a lot of money in their super chats to get their attention, because they talked to me before, but the minute I started posting about what's happening, silence. So I started super chatting them, and every time in public, in front of their fans, oh yeah, reach out to us, man. Yeah, let us know. Every single time. To this date, for the last year, the Vanguard has not responded to me in any way other than to tell in front of their audience that, hey, reach out to me. Right? They have not had any conversation with me. One that's stayed with me for a month. They signed a 1-year lease. They violated the lease by leaving in a month. Because of the situation where the city is forcing me to house somebody against my will when I don't have the money to do so, devastating my finances. That led to a mouse infestation because they had trash on my property. Code enforcement, they're supposed to deal with stuff like that, make sure people are living, sanitary, whatever, the landlords, whatever. But yet this tenant is allowed for months to keep trash on the deck, right? They go after me, the homeowner, right? But the tenant can do whatever. So ultimately, they don't care about the sanitary conditions, right? Their whole thing is to go and extract more revenue from me, the homeowner, right? Because it's okay when the tenant is keeping trash on the property for months, right? That's no problem. I literally had another tenant go to the office and in tears, complaining about the trash. They did nothing. So now the same guy who hasn't paid me any money hasn't paid rent in 2 years. Um, and now the guy's calling me now, the tenant. The same guy who hasn't paid me any money in 2 years. Causes a mouse infestation, and it affects this nice family of 4, single income, low income. Now they left. And in winter, when it's hard to find tenants, so I was already in a very bad situation. Now I'm literally with a 4-family home with 1 tenant in a time when it's really hard to find tenants. They cut off my electricity in my apartment yesterday. They're supposed to cut off electricity in the house as well any day now. So per the lease terms, they are responsible for the rent until I find another tenant. Who knows how long that's gonna be? How is this guy with a single income gonna pay to live where he's living and pay the rent here? I don't know how he's supposed to do that. But I'm being buried. There's maintenance I need to do. I'm looking at some parts of the building. I need to do repair work on it. I don't have the money for it. I got humidity issues in the basement. I don't have money for that. Mortgage is due soon. I don't have enough money for the mortgage right now. Enter jail threats. This guy causes a leak in my house. Leaks into this family that just left, into their kid's bedroom. I try for over a month to get in there to repair the air condition. He's blocking me from doing it. Repair the leak. In retaliation for me trying to repair the leak, that's a threat to him as well, because it can cause mold in his bedroom. In retaliation for me trying to repair the leak that he caused, which damaged another person's apartment, he called code enforcement. And code enforcement is trying to fine me $250 a day. I gotta find out if it's per violation. If it's per violation, that's $1,000 a month. No, it's more than $1,000 a month. What am I talking about? It's $30,000 a month if it's per violation. Because every day it would be $1,000. 30 days, $30,000. The city wants to fine me $30,000 a month, either that or $1,000 a month. If it's just one fee for all 4 violations. I don't know how it works. Either way, that's absurd. Who has $1,000 a month? How does that make sense? How do you have a city where you allow for people to get away with damaging people's property, not paying any rent, causing infestation? That was $700 for the exterminator for that because of this guy and his trash. In a city where you put such financial burden on homeowners, it's laughable that you have an option to fine them $250 a day. That is the type of fee that you fine a corporation. Ironically, the city is treating me just like some of these progressives would like to treat me, like as if I'm Bill Gates, who can afford to pay $250 a day. And if I don't pay, they're gonna put me in jail. This is criminal. I'm sitting in my van. I haven't had breakfast. I had to take off work because of this. Because this cannot stand. I've got the violation notice with me. I'm about to go to the mayor's office and have a word with him. The mayor that's been ducking me, that said he was gonna call me and he never calls me. Right? I'm gonna have a talk with him. And I'm gonna have a talk with the head of code compliance. And see what the hell is going on. There it is. Nobody wants to talk about this. I got in contact with local media. There's a lady doing a story at a school. I spoke to her. She says, reach out. I reached out, no response. A tenant in the building next door says she has a reporter friend that she's gonna reach out to and see if they can help. Because this is not being, nobody knows about how bad things are. No one's talking about this. That's why it's happening and they're getting away with it. The only reason why this kind of thing normally doesn't happen is because if it did, right, and people knew about it, it would be a problem. How are you gonna win an election without even at least saying you're gonna do something about this kind of stuff, right? It's gonna have a political consequence, right? But if it's being done in the dark and nobody knows about it, they don't care. They would do this kind of stuff with everything. Think about it right now, right? Other things where you know there's no way that could happen, they wouldn't allow somebody to do that and get away with it. The only reason for that is because there'll be consequences for them. Right now, there's no consequences. They've been doing this for a while, getting away with it because no one will talk about it. So anyway, that tenant, I think I lost my train of thought. That tenant who said that they had a reporter friend and they reached out for me on behalf of me. They said they responded because I told them, hey, I found a reporter and I whatever. Turns out it's the same person. That person responded to them. Difference is that the reporter used to be a tenant in the same building that this tenant lives in, right? So there's some kind of a level of, like, I guess familiarity or friendship or whatever. So I guess is why she got back to her friend, but she's ignoring me. She gave me her card, said to reach out to her, and she's ignoring me. I texted her 2 times. I just left her a voicemail today. I told her how crazy things are. This is a journalist, a local journalist. Think about how insane what's happening. And it's not just affecting me. It's affecting my tenants, my family. I'm basically homeless. My sister is homeless. Her son is homeless. All because of the same stuff. And everywhere I turn, journalists go silent. Independent media, left-wing media, the Vanguard, Sabby Sabs, silence. No engagement at all whatsoever. Sabby Sabs used to respond to me as soon as I told her about this stuff. Silence. Actual Justice Warrior. 200 of his subscribers said, bring me on to tell my story. I got 200 likes. He did a video about homelessness or something, housing something. No response. I DM'd him, no response. I reached out to other local news, no response, no response. If nobody knows it's happening, it'll continue happening, and it won't stop. You guys want increased minimum wage? It's not going to happen until there's a consequence of not making it happen. Right now, there's no consequence. You can win elections easily without even saying minimum wage, which is why they're never going to do anything about it. When it becomes a price of not doing something about it, all of a sudden, minimum wage is going to go up. That's how it works, guys. As crazy as the situation seems, how could this be done? This is definitely a criminal type of behavior that my government is doing against me. How is it allowed to happen? Because nobody knows about it. There's no pressure, there's no consequences of doing it. These people are savages. They don't actually care about us. They just care about themselves. So they only do what they have to do, and that's it. Right now, the city doesn't have to do anything to help me. There's no consequences of not helping me. And others. I'm not the only one. As long as that exists, I am minimum wage increase. That's me. There's no need to talk to me, to worry about me, to do anything. Because there's no consequence of not doing anything. You don't increase minimum wage, no consequence. City continues to destroy me financially, abandon me, there's no consequence. They'll put me in jail. And this is the kind of criminal behavior that leftists, they would normally be all against. Like, this is wrong, blah, 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 blah. The government, no justice, no peace. But because I'm not poor, it doesn't matter. I can be treated like dirt. My life does not matter to the city, and it does not matter to American progressives. I am the scum of the earth. I deserve to be in jail. I worked for decades to save up enough money to buy a 4-family home with an idea of creating a great experience for my tenants. Wanted to build an entertainment center downstairs, not just for my tenants, but for the neighborhood, for the people on the street as well. One day in the future, I wanted to build a roof deck, which would be an added value for my tenants. Right? And because of the fact that I expect compensation, right, for the decades of work that I put in to have the money to buy the house in the first place, and for all the maintenance work that I need to do, and all the money and time that I put in my own labor, woodwork, plumbing, electrical, paint work, landscaping, because of the fact that I expect to be compensated for my labor, progressives see me as scum of the earth. How dare I expect regular people to pay for housing, pay me for my labor, pay me for the risk that I'm taking on their behalf? Right? Stuff gets damaged, they don't got to worry about it. I got to worry about it. All they got to do is pay the rent, and that's it. I have the stress of randomly things breaking, and I got to pay $5,000, $10,000. But because I want to be compensated for my labor, and I'm not poor, I don't deserve to be compensated for my labor. All the weekends I've given up, late nights. My labor is not worth anything. I have no value to the American progressives. I am just dirt. And just like them, so are the people they vote for. Savages. They do not care. But ironically, the sickness is so bad that it's not just me that they don't care about. They don't care about the people also who are being affected by this, because this tenant that just left, they're lower income and they had to deal with mice. The city didn't care about them either. Anyway, I'm gonna go to the mayor's office. I'm hoping I don't lose control. There's a good chance that I might get a little bit loud. And then I'm gonna go to code enforcement and have a word with them. If I were a Democrat, I would have given up already. Thrown in the towel. It is what it is. But I'm not a Democrat. So I'm gonna fight. No one will help me. The left has abandoned me. The media won't help. City won't help. But I'm still gonna fight. If I'm gonna go down, I'm going down swinging. Because I'm not a Democrat. All right. Time to go to war.